establishing Supreme Gangsters. The West Side is a predominantly people, side, vice lords, things of that nature. Especially back in them days, the lords was heavy. You
In
know
the
what I'm saying? So
60s, in the
yeah.
60s, Vicelords and Cobras ran the West Side. But
Mm,
when I got over there in '67, the same year, cause that new generation, the same year I come out the Mad Black Souls. Okay,
mm,
Willie Lloyd with the Unknown Vice Lords, Freddie Gay with the Four Corner Hustlers, and
mm,
then the West Side is a small concentrated area.
facts, facts.
So now, I didn't start Supreme Gangsters on the West Side. What it was, by me going through the Artie home,
Mm-hmm.
juvenile, and then the penitentiaries and all that shit, I met a lot of brothers. In fact, I met Willie Lloyd in Sheridan when we was 15. We had 3 fights, because I was the good little shit for the gangster disciple shit, even though we weren't gangster, but we was out of Inglewood, South Side, and he was the little shit from the West Side. And then we come to the conclusion, back in them days, you give respect, win, lose, or draw. And
Mm.
even though I think I kicked his ass twice, he might have got out on me once. But we
Right.
became
Okay.
a little
Yeah,
buddy.
that's
And
right.
then in '67, in order for me to get parole from Sheridan, because back then the welfare had, they could keep you to you 21 years old. All right,
Mm.
and I'm turning 16, and I could get parole if I could get out of state parole, because they didn't want me back in England with Larry now. So I tried to have out of state parole to Detroit, but my cousin Palmer was my age, and he was a street nigga, and he killed the motherfucker, so they killed that. So then my mother and father made a sacrifice for me to come home. They moved to the west side in Cape Town. So
Mm.
that's how I got to be in Cape Town in 1967 at 16 years old. But by me coming out of Sheridan, I was on parole, and one of my conditions on my parole that I couldn't fuck around on the south side, because I had been declared a means to, delinquent, all that juvenile
Right.
delinquent bullshit. So condition I couldn't fuck with Larry them, and plus they were on the south side, because at the time we fighting disciples and Blackstone Rangers and everything else. And at the time, Charlie Atkins been with the double 16. All right, so
Mm.
moved to the west side, so I was able to come home. But I couldn't, through the weekday I wouldn't go out south, because I know them parole off police and all this shit hanging. But on the weekend, I knew they had their offices closed and all this shit, and I go, fuck, I'm a Supreme Gangster. I'm on 6th Street at the center and everything else. Okay? But the niggas on the west side in K-Town that I knew, because like I said, I used to go up there on kids in Florida, the pool hall, and fuck with Willie Lloyd them. Because they was, we was cool and shit. And the only organization on the west side, Supreme Gangsters, never fought was the Unknown.
Mm.
The relationship me and Willie Lloyd had since we was teenagers. But anyway, I used to go out south on the weekends. But these niggas in K-Town, they call this little Gladys on Gladys and Peter. And they used to say, well, you on the west side now, how come you ain't with us? Hey, man, fuck y'all. I'm a Supreme Gang. What's so special about Supreme Gang? So I told them, look, y'all meet me on Gladys and Kiva. Sad. We had a caravan. I took them outside. She said, from Hustley to the center. And they interacted with the gangsters. They saw how the Supreme ladies treated them, fed them, danced with them, made them feel at home. So that Sunday morning, my brother called me. Now I'm living on LaVerge and Adams. And he called me. He's still living in Cape Town. He said, man, what the fuck's going on? He said, man, these motherfuckers been sprayed. Because remember, they were tagging shit back then. They hood. They said these motherfuckers got Supreme Gangster root all over Cape Town. They claimed it. And back then, the Jive 5, the Sinister 6, who else was over there? FBI, so all that shit was over.
Mm.
AJ, that became Cicero Vicelords, they was over there. They was the Seven Hoods, Alabama and the Four, all that shit. And them black souls and Depression, Black Soul, Georgia, and we fought all them motherfuckers to stand.
Mm.
Oh, K-Town Cobras, Egyptian Cobras, because I set my thing down over there in the Cobra shit, you know. But what made us stand the same way out south? One for all for one, man. Truth organized.
Mm. I mean that right there, some history that had to be explained, because a lot of people had a misconception and you just cleared it up, especially with, you saying, hey, I wasn't the one that started Supreme Gangsters on the west side. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people think you started the Supreme Gangsters on the west side. You know what I'm saying? So you just clarified that. So from your memories, what was, you know, just to get an audience some, background of some of the memories you had, fighting on the west side of Chicago with, mostly lords and foes, and then what about Boonie Black? Because Boonie Black got a big presence, in K Town too. Like, did you and him have a good relationship? Because it's a lot of breeze in K Town. So how
Listen,
did that work out?
listen, Boonie Black them was Gone Squad Gangsters off 16th and Kids. I know you heard of Nissan and all them niggas.
Definitely.
That's where they come from. Okay? And they always, Rabbi was their chief. And then Booney had connections before he became part of Cochise, them, the royal family, and with Baldy and all that murdering and robbery shit, back in the 70s and shit. But yeah, Boney my man.
Okay.
And then too, even the New Breeze, that's why them young folks fought the New Breeze. We never did because his nephew, Marcellus,
Mm.
was one of those little chiefs and shit. And Marcellus, when he was a kid, a teenager, he stayed on Jackson in between Keelan and Kildare and my stronghold. And my center was on Keelan and Jackson. And
Mm.
he used to come down to pay him as a kid to clean up. And then when folks had work over there, how motherfucker hookers and all that shit work, that third shift. And they used to come there
Mm.
and get their party favors and throw their rappers in and out and all that shit. I used to pay my sellers them to come every morning and clean that shit up. So
So.
as far as the New Breeds,
Mm-hmm.
when they got down there on Keeler and Van Buren, that was sanctioned.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I tell motherfuckers at my age, if I check some of you young motherfuckers, I gotta explain this shit to your mother and father. They ran with me.
Mm. That's real. That's definitely real right there. For real. That
You know,
definitely
like I
real.
said, Marcellus done with the New Breeze and Booney.